Why is it that the City of Costa Mesa's council continues to vote for ordinances and initiatives that aren't good for the City of Costa Mesa? It has to do with campaign contributions. Watch it right here at the Righeimer Report. Hello, my name is Jim Righeimer. I'm the former mayor of the City of Costa Mesa. During this time of closed meetings, Zoom meetings, a lot of things are happening at the City of Costa Mesa's council meetings that are not in the best interest of the citizens of Costa Mesa. And people ask why. And what I've said generally all the way through is that you've got a situation where the people on the city council are running for different offices and they need to raise money. So they are passing initiatives in our city that do not help out the citizens, but it helps them out with their campaign contributions. This Righeimer report is going to be a little bit longer. There's three major items I'm going to bring up that are in the next city council meeting. Again, they're trying to get it done in the darkness of night, push these issues through. What's the first one? It has a really nice name. It's called the Community Workforce Agreement. Doesn't that sound nice? We should have a community workforce. Well, what is the community workforce? It's actually known as a project labor agreement. What's a project labor agreement? It's an agreement where the city of Costa Mesa agrees that all work in the city, every sidewalk, every curb, every gutter, every building we build, everything we do will be done by union labor. And it's an agreement between the city and the Los Angeles labor unions here in Costa Mesa to say, you agree to do that going forward. And what the agreement says, now what does the citizens of Costa Mesa get out of it? If they allow all the work to go to labor unions, this is what the citizens of Costa Mesa get out of it. 35% of the work hours will go to citizens of Costa Mesa or veterans in Orange County. And if they can't get that many people in Costa Mesa, Orange County that are veterans, they can go anywhere in Orange County. And if they can't get enough workers from those areas, they can go to LA County or Riverside County. Basically what I'm saying is we get nothing. The citizens of Costa Mesa get nothing. Now, why is it a difference between having a labor contract with a union and paying prevailing wage? Right now, all of our projects in the city get paid what's called prevailing wage, which is basically union wage. And all the employees that do any work in our city have to pay that wage. But they don't have to belong to a union. What the agreement the city's making with the labor unions is they will all have to be union members. Now think about this. You need to get another worker to come on a job site. You can't call up and call Bob and say, hey Bob, we got some opening this week. Can you come out here and help us pour some concrete? You have to go to the union hall to get those people. Those people then have to pay into all sorts of funds out of their paycheck. So it's not exactly fair to the labor workers out there, the kind of money that comes out of their paycheck that goes to the labor union. Now again, the cost to do this is about 20% more to make all the projects in Costa Mesa with labor unions. Meaning, if you have money for streets or sidewalks or parks, you'll get 20% less because it's going to cost 20% more. Now, how does that help the citizens of Costa Mesa? It doesn't help them at all. But if you go through the list of all the people in the unions that are supporting this, you'll notice it matches up exactly to the list that Mayor Katrina Foley had when she just ran for the Senate and lost. She's now running for mayor again. So it's very, very important to her to make sure she gives back to the people that supported her financially and with endorsements. And that's the same as we have for the rest of the council. Arliss Reynolds on the city council, same thing. She's looking for support for her campaigns. Andrea Marr, she's looking for support on her campaigns. John Stevens, looking for support on his campaign. Those 5 of the 7 people on the council, all they're looking for is union support. So they're again spending Costa Mesa money to get that support, and it does no good for the citizens of Costa Mesa. Here's the next item that's coming on the City Council agenda for this coming Tuesday, July 21st. It's called the Side Letter Agreement with the Costa Mesa Firefighters. How it's being titled is it says it's reducing compensation and benefits for firefighters. Basically, the city's saying we have a $30 million hole, a $30 million hole that we have to somehow fill of shortness of money in the system. So they're going to all the employee groups. They went to the firefighters, which is about a third of the budget of the city. It's about 100 employees, and it's basically about a third of the budget to the city. Understand, in our city, we have 34 employees as of 2018, because future data has not been given to us by the council. But since 2018, the top 34 employees in the city made over $300,000 a year. 15 of them were in the police department, 14 of them were in the fire department. So obviously there's a lot of money spent there for police and fire. But this side agreement's pretty amazing, because when you go through the document, it basically says that the employees are willing to give up about $160 every 2 weeks of the $1,000 they get every 2 weeks for their health care. They get about $2,000 a month, and they're willing to give up a portion of that to the city for 1 year. But here's the agreement. If the federal government comes in and backfills the city and pays them the money back, the employees will get all their money back, so it really won't cost them anything. But what are they getting for it? Here's what they're getting for it. It's a kind of a in the bushes kind of complicated issue, but it has to do with how do you calculate overtime. The fire department in Costa Mesa is notorious for outrageous overtime. You don't get the $300,000 a year compensations unless you have lots of overtime. So let me give you some background. If you're a firefighter in Costa Mesa, you work about 10 days a month, 9 to 10 days a month on a 24-hour shift. A major portion of that shift, you're sleeping. So they have to figure out, how do you figure out what's overtime? So obviously, if you have a regular job that you work 40 hours a week, and you work, more hours that week, anything over 40, you would get paid overtime for. Well, because the firemen sleep there and they go on 24-hour shifts, they have to calculate how do they figure when overtime kicks in. So right now, how it's structured is that basically they use a whole month, and they say if you go over those 10 shifts, basically 24-hour shifts, you start getting paid overtime if it was in that month. What they're giving as part of this agreement is they're saying, you will now calculate my overtime every 14 days. Now, what does that do? Well, they're saying that if you work more than 104 hours in any 14 days, which is basically 4 24-hour shifts and an 8-hour day, if you go more than the 4 shifts plus the 8-hour day, 104 hours, everything's on overtime. Now, why does that matter? It's basically a calculation that's done that if, like, you're a normal employee, every other Friday is just considered a overtime day. They recalculated that no matter what you do, they end up with overtime because you calculate the days basically over the 104 hours, which is 4 24-hour days and an 8-hour shift. They do 10 days in a month, so you can see how that happens. Also, that doesn't include the gaming of the system. If that 14-day period ended on a Sunday, and you're off on a Sunday, you could trade with a guy on Monday and say, hey, go ahead and I'll take your Sunday that you had off. I'll work that day, and I can add a day into my 14-day schedule, and I'll get paid overtime for that, even though over the 30-day schedule, I didn't work any extra days. So it's completely being gamed. When you actually look at the report that says how much money does the city save, the city doesn't save anything. In the end, it costs $161,000 over a 2-year period more to do what the city's doing. So again, city says we have a $30 million budget hole. They go to one of the largest sources of those costs. They come in with a $360,000 amount that they're saying they're giving back, and they're turning around and giving it to them on overtime. This is the kind of stuff that's wrong. And why are they doing that? The firefighters walked precincts to make sure that Mayor Foley got elected. They would literally come to people's doors and say, hello, Mrs. Jones, I'm with the Costa Mesa Fire Department. And I want you to know, because of the people that are on the council now, I've made an oath to saying that I will protect you. But because of those people on the council now, I can't guarantee I can protect you anymore. You need to get rid of so-and-so and put on the city dais Mayor Foley, make her the mayor. And so again, one more time, that the city council people are going to go ahead now, vote for things that cost us more money, We don't save any money, they cost us more money so they can keep and get those endorsements from the Firefighters Association. The last major issue that's coming on the City Council meeting here is the marijuana initiative. The citizens of Costa Mesa voted previously to say they did not want to have dispensaries in the city, and so we don't have dispensaries. They are now going to put on the ballot a vote to have dispensaries all over the city. Here's the biggest thing about it. Again, back to the labor unions. Why are they doing it? Because in the initiative, it says that in order to go ahead and have a dispensary and you have more than 20 employees, a representative of the United Food and Commercial Workers International Union will be the union representative for all the employees who work in the dispensaries. So again, they call it a labor peace agreement. The city will go ahead and allow them to have dispensaries. The workers in those dispensaries will be union members. So again, we're getting back to exactly what I'm talking about. Every single one of these issues, whether you're for them or against them, all of them benefit labor unions, and all of them benefit the city council members who get labor union support. Former Mayor Andy Guinness, who's on the council, does not get labor union support. Former Mayor Alan Mansour, who's on the city council, does not get labor union support. The rest of them get labor union support, and they are selling off your city to make sure they can continue to get elected. My name is Jim Righeimer. Take care.